Good morning, everybody. Hope you all doing well. It's very early here. It is 6:13 in the morning. I wanted to get on here for a few minutes before I started with my day out in the world. I promised myself, and I don't make promises, but that I would try to do a better job by getting on here more often. So I want to talk about that for a minute. I sort of struggle with this because the reason I started watching YouTube was for the instructional videos. And then I sort of got addicted to the buying yarn videos, and I can't watch those anymore. It makes me want to go buy yarn, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I just have so much yarn right now, and I don't want to store it. I have a lot of beautiful yarns and I want to be able to use it. So until I use some of that up, I don't want to buy anymore. I do buy on occasion necessity yarn, which I call the base colors, to add to stuff, but I really want to refrain from buying new and exciting yarns, okay? Because I get all new and excited about it. Woo! So, anyways, so I think to myself, so what am I going to get in here and talk about? Well, today I'm going to try to crochet a little bit and chit chat about a few things. I will say that I don't talk a lot about my personal life. I am not, I don't know how to say this out. I sound like I'm going to offend somebody, and if I offend you, I apologize. Just take it with a grain of salt. I don't want to get on here to try to get you to like me. I've never been that way. I like to share the good things I accomplish. Like when I made that blanket right there. I love that blanket. I'm very proud of it. Happy to share the process with you because I was excited about it. It worked out really well. I create every day. Oh, sorry about the glare on the glasses. See if I can do that for a little bit until I start crocheting. I create every day, but do I really want to get on here every day and go, look, I did another 2 rows or another 10 rows, with the blanket I was working on yesterday? No. I don't want to be sponsored because I don't edit my videos. I really, this is just me recording and chatting for a few minutes, and what comes out, comes out. So, what do I get on here and talk about without sounding crazy? That's a bit of a struggle for me. So, I noticed there were some other video artists, who sometimes we just get on and crochet and chit chat. Some of the big ones do, like Mikey from the Crochet Crowd, and I don't want to do a live because trying to watch the comments and talk to you guys and crochet, that's too much. That's just insanity to me. I don't know how they do it. Good for them. I'm amazed when Lori does it too, and the other ones I've seen. But, a lot of times when I watch YouTube, I listen to it. I don't watch it so much. I may poke my eyes up to see what somebody's talking about, but sometimes it's just sitting playing next to me while I'm crocheting. So I thought, well, maybe I could practice on crocheting while talking. I know I cannot sing and crochet because it doesn't come out right. I've learned from experience. I can listen to TV and it can play in the background and it doesn't bother me. And I'll remember what it is I heard on television and crochet. So that's probably an old work skill, being able to do 3 things at once like that. So I'm just going to get in here and ramble for a minute then, and maybe I can crochet too. There are a few things that I wanted to mention. Cecilia from Not Too Old to Be Crafty, which I really think that her title should be Too Crafty to Be Old. I do. I love Cecilia's work. She is a beautiful yarn artist, and I'm always amazed at what she creates from the yarn that we get from the Mystery Yarn Challenges. So she asked me the question, where did the name Ipsy McQueen come from? And what it was, or what it is I worked a corporate job for many years. Did a lot of things, taught people about security, how to be safe, how to be aware of their surroundings, was part of my job. Well, when COVID hit, we were spending a lot of time in the office and working a lot of hours, and we were really stressed. So to entertain ourselves, we came up with these, joyful ways, joking ways to kind of about people, because you learned a lot about people because we were in the office a lot. So it got this joking rumor about me got started that I was actually a Russian spy. I seemed to know things that other people didn't know. I lived a very unique lifestyle because although I worked in a corporate office, for one of the top 10 companies in the world, and I was upper middle range in there. I also, when I left, I got into my little tiny car that was always covered in dust and dirty looking, and drove out to the middle of the desert, which is where my property was. And I lived in a very small 27 foot, travel trailer. I had a very small solar array. I didn't own a television. Anything I didn't plug into a 12 volt, like your old cigarette lighters in a car. If I didn't have something that plugged in that way, then I didn't use it. I didn't generate enough. I didn't have enough solar arrays to generate enough to run a 120, 110 plug. I had my little greenhouse. I had my critters. I had my goats and my horses and, chickens and things like that. So, and then I would get up and go back and put on my fancy clothes and my $100 high heels and, get back in my dusty, dirty car and drive back into town and go back to work. So it was sort of this juxtaposition of two worlds that I was living in. So they decided at work I was a Russian spy. That's fine. Go ahead, think what you want. I tried to convince them that if they had figured out I was a Russian spy, then I probably wasn't a very good one, which just, added fuel to the fire. And so they said, well, jokingly one day, well, when you leave here and you go start your another new life, because we figured out you're a Russian spy, what will your name be? And the first thing that popped in my head was Ipsy McQueen. And they were like, oh, that's just a really cool name. And I was like, yeah, doesn't it sound like a cool name? So I don't know where the name came from. Ipsy McQueen sounds like a very cool person. Like she led quite an adventurous life, done a few things, traveled the world a little bit maybe. I don't know, but it sort of stuck. So when I started making the videos, I was like, there are so many titles that are already taken and names and yarn things. And did I really want to talk just about yarn? Because I had a lot of knowledge on self-sustainability and other things. And so I was like, well, I don't want it to be just about yarn because that kind of limits me. So I just thought, maybe this is the chance for Ipsy McQueen to come to life. Maybe. So that's how the name Ipsy McQueen came around. So if anybody was curious, that's it. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever change it. It just, it's kind of a barrier between me and the outside world. She's that person here between the two that faces the world, and, Jolie's somewhere else sometimes. So, yeah. I don't know if that was entertaining or funny but that's the truth right there. The other thing I wanted to talk about is someone mentioned about me adding yarn to the projects that I do. And I believe Lori stated in her original instructions that was okay. And if it's not, I apologize. I don't do the competition. I don't even call it a competition. That's the wrong word. I don't do the yarn challenges as a competition. So I'm not trying to create something better than somebody else. The reason I do the mystery yarn challenges is because I've received a lot of great yarn that I never would have picked for myself, or I don't have in my stash to be able to work with. to me, that's a great thrill. I love that right there. Something different, something new. Sometimes seeing different colors that people put together. More than likely, if I stuck inside my head, everything would be blue and green. Okay, and that's, kind of limiting myself. So I have been the receiver of some really interesting stuff that I've never even seen before. There's a lot of yarn out there that I don't get to see, because for such a long time I was living in a very small area, very remote area, not having stores around to go shopping and doing my shopping online, and that kind of gets to be scary because you never know what you're buying and so on and so forth. So anyways, I have to finish that before the sun gets too bright in my eyes. So that's why I do the mystery yarn challenges. And then my next thought process is, so if I'm going to do the mystery yarn challenges, I really don't need to make a bunch of stuff for myself. I just don't. 99% of everything I make gets donated out into the world. I enjoy that. I enjoy just letting it go, because otherwise I feel like it stacks up. And when I was living in such a small travel trailer, you learn how important space is, right? And how to use it creatively. And so I would not let stuff, blankets and hats and things like that I had made stack up. I would donate them. I do the same now. So my thought is, I've received this wonderful yarn from somebody out in the world. I'm going to create something with it so I can pass it back out into the world, because I don't want to hold on to it. I think that things need to be shared in the world. It's part of my gratitude to the world. So yeah, so I add yarn to my things to able to pass on the gift that I received onto somebody else. I hope that makes sense. If it upsets anybody that I do that, I'm sorry, but I think it's the best way to show my appreciation for the gift I have received is by giving it back out into the world to those who need it or who enjoy it. I can only make so many things that I can hold on to. I think this blanket right here is probably the first one that I've held on to and not given away in a very long time. I have one other one that I keep in my van for traveling because I made it specifically to fit my bed. So it's it actually sits underneath the sheets because the mattress gets cold when you're sleeping in outdoor areas, camping and stuff. So it's an actual buffer. I used a really good thick yarn. It's there. So yeah, so that's why I add yarn to it. Like I said, I don't think these competitions, in all honesty, I'm really thinking about asking Lori to take me out of the prize part. I appreciate all that she does, and I know it's completely random, but I just, I don't have a need for it. I have more in my life than I need. So, and I know there are some who compete in the challenges who do not have more than, and it sometimes can be a struggle for them and so forth. So I think that's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to talk to her about taking me out of that, because it's really not why I started this. So hope that makes sense. Okay, I haven't got any crocheting done because I was talking, but I will show you real quick. Of course, all the things I talked about, what I was going to do with my mystery yarn challenge, I didn't do any of it. But I've used or started projects with a lot of the yarn. Okay, so remember the beautiful skein of the Mandala Sparkle, or cake of it. Ta-da! This is the thermal stitch. I'm thinking I should have enough to make a hat. That's coming up really nice. It's a little scratchy because it's got the sparkle in there, I know, but I think it'll be very pretty. It'll go this way, so the stripes will be up and down, not this way. But I love the thermal stitch. It is so warm and squishy. It really is. I'm hoping I have enough. I'm sort of like chewing my nails to make sure that I have enough to get all the way to the end. If not, I'm going to have to see if I have, which I probably do, another skein of the sparkle in another color. It doesn't matter as long as it's just got a wide swatch. I know I have some of the other 3-weight yarn, but I don't think it has a sparkle to it. We'll see. But there, I've started that. Okay. And then when I was going through my bag that I showed you of all the 3-weight yarn I have, look what I found. I believe these come from Premier, right? The Premier mystery bags. Those are almost identical in color. It may not be, maybe a little hard to see. This might have a little more of a sheen to it than this, but the shade of yellow is identical. It doesn't look like it here. Maybe if I, no, it doesn't look like it there either. Okay, but I took it outside yesterday and I was like, wow, that's almost perfect. So something will come of this, I think. More than what I was going to do before. So I kind of like this idea. I'm sort of looking for maybe if somebody has a recommendation for a good 3-weight blanket pattern. I'd be willing to listen. I always enjoy a good suggestion. And then the other, remember the small skeins? There were 2 blue and 2 yellow. Yeah, 2 yellows of 2 different shades and 2 blue that were the same shade. Okay, so what I did is this. Isn't that pretty? That's the moss stitch done in continuous. So I don't have any ends except whenever I add a color, because I just carry the yarn up. The white is from my 3-weight bag. And this lovely coral, you know what this is? And if you watch any of my other videos, you'll know this is the bane of my existence. Sorry if I look all funky because the sun's coming up over the mountain now. This Melospun DK. I have so much of this yarn from Mary Maxim mystery bags. I have this color. I have tan. I have yellow. I have light blue. I put 2 strands together and made, I think, 2 or 3 other blankets, and I still have a bunch of this left. But this is the same spun yarn as the blue and the yellow, instead of I don't know the proper phrasing for it, but it's the tightly wound, looks almost like a small cord. I can't think of what the word is for it, but so that's the same texture as the other yarn. So yeah, I added them together. Isn't that pretty so far? I love that coral with there. I think I'm going to finish up all of the coral and then do some blue and just keep going until it gets to be like a lapgan. I'm on a lapgan kick. It's too hot right now to be making full-size blankets. I just can't do it. But isn't that pretty? I'm going to keep it out of the actual directly sunrise. Remember the old... Remember the guy who used to put his nose over stuff? The wall, the books, whatever? Yeah. It was kind of like Ziggy, for anybody who remembers Ziggy. Okay. I mean, it does buckle a little bit in the middle, but if I block it, which I usually don't block. I don't block. I just let it go. But yeah, I really like that. I really like the moss stitch. It's simple. It's what I call mindless stitching, so I can do it without thinking, you know. I can do it and all of a sudden I'll look up and I'm like, oh wow, I just got 4 or 5 rows done, you know. So yeah, we'll be interested to see how that turns out. If I could move you guys, I would show you how messy my floor is. Part of my creative process is I just got a bunch of yarn out and dumped it on the floor and was kind of mix and matching and let it sit there on the floor together for a while, and then no, I didn't like that, and I actually started using those Mandela colors that I had, the cakes, where I was talking about making a blanket out of them, putting the sparkle. I started making a blanket out of that. I tried doing a mosaic from the center out blanket, and I just wasn't feeling it. So I took that apart. Yeah, so today when I get back, now that I've sort of decided for the moment what it is I'm going to do. Where did this go? This goes here. Okay. Can't mess up my hooks. I'm really bad about doing that. Losing my hook, and then when I start my pattern back up, it's off because I've chosen the wrong hook to start with again. And yes, I have more than enough hooks that I could leave it with a project, but I have my favorites. Different sizes, different styles, but yeah. So anyway, so now that I think I have decided, and I'm still working on the 2 other projects from last month's challenge that I didn't finish. Yeah, I'm sort of all over the place. It's okay. I think I'm going to clean my floor today. I think I'm going to have to, so I can vacuum. Yeah, so it's, it's very creative looking. If Better Homes and Garden walked in today and went to take a picture of my floor, I would have to put on, a big fancy beret and something colorful and tell them I was just an artiste. And that's why my floor looked that way. But yeah, so if anybody, I'm going to close this off because I'm rambling and I have to get going. It's after 6:30 now. So if anybody has a really good 3-weight baby Afghan, Lapghan pattern, because not all yarns look good in all weights, with the patterns. That does make a difference. I've learned that. Make a suggestion. I'll be happy to listen to it. I don't know, maybe I'm thinking sort of a V-stitch, but I've never done a V-stitch in a 3-weight, so I don't know if it'd be too light to hold it up well, to make it look well. I don't know. I'm open to suggestions. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please try to stay cool wherever you are. I know it's hot across the United States right now. We keep getting hints of rain. It thunders, it lightnings all around me, but I don't get a drop. And the surrounding neighborhoods may get just a couple minutes and then it disappears. Those late summer afternoon storms that happen in the desert, right? We're looking at temperatures above 105 for the next 2-3 weeks. So, yeah, we're going to have some fun. We are. I will say that there's been a bobcat in the yard. There's been a gray fox in the yard. The rabbits come. I have pepper plants out there, and they've eaten all the leaves off my pepper plants, but left my tomato plants alone, so we'll be okay with that. I should have a nice crop of, I planted just cherry tomatoes this year, something small. Oh, and you know what? I got a new pet. It's a betta fish. Love betta fishes, but we'll talk about that in another video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I'm sorry I look so short. I'm sitting on the floor is why. It's the best angle, so I can't show you as many wrinkles. Ooh, there we go. Boy, my eyes look really blue when they get in that light, don't they? Wow. Okay. Things I discover about myself on a daily basis. Okay, I'm going to go. I want to thank you guys for all you do, and thank you for listening to me ramble. Hopefully you like Gypsy McQueen. Have a great day. Stop by, say hi on a chat or a comment. Thank you. Bye.